What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another video. I've been away for a while, like 2 or 3 weeks. I've been working on a lot of projects at once. Weekly videos are back. Before we start, editing contest. Holy shit. I cannot believe the amount of entries I got. I can't believe the pictures I saw. I don't know how the hell I'm gonna choose 3 winners because there is literally, I'd say about 50, which are all my favorite. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but you guys are some seriously talented people, and thank you all so much to everyone who's entered. There is also one more thing that I wanna speak about before we get into the video, and it is the fact that it's coming home. Boys, come on, we're through to the quarterfinals. By the time this video is out, we would have either made it through or we would have lost. So to be honest, if you're watching this and we win, you know I'm happy. Today, we are gonna be jumping behind the scenes into one of my previous client video shoots with ZRK, and we are gonna break down how I shot this clothing commercial. This production was a very quick turnaround. We only had 1 full day and night to shoot this. Turnover from start to the finished edit was 4 days, so that is not a lot of time. To be honest, I'm actually used to having quick turnover times for these types of videos, whereas for the much bigger projects that I work on, I'm given at least a month or if not longer to submit the final piece. The mission for this commercial was to promote ZRK's new collection through a street and urban environment. Before I start shooting a project like this, I always like to relay back to the client any ideas that I have in mind, or if there's anything specific that they want me to shoot, whether that be get a close-up of this hoodie, or don't get too much of this in, get more of that in, anything like that. I always like to relay any information to the client before we start the shoot. Secondly, I always like to check out the location and see which are the best parts of the location which I feel fit for the shoot. Obviously, with this particular shoot, it is going to be taking place in an urban underground environment. So if there's any particular spots, I will obviously check that out beforehand, and then I'll know exactly where I want to shoot during the course of the day and the night, because some spots in that location may look better at night than daytime, and obviously having that whole day can really help sort of your planning and knowing which shots you want to get at which time of the day. I try to search for spots that will give me a sense of space and spots that will serve well with a different variety of shots.
I think this is the main area to shoot because we've got a sick view of like the city in the background, especially when it gets dark. That will look really nice. I think this is where I'm going to probably shoot majority of it. Obviously the boys can do flips off of like these little steps.
And I knew that location would absolutely slap during nighttime because we'll get the nice bokeh of the lights and whatnot. So I knew that particular spot in the location was the one when we shoot the night scenes. I would highly advise anyone who's going into certain shoots like this to just take 20 minutes before the shoot to check out the location, because it saves so much time rather than just picking up your camera and just sort of winging it. It is always good to plan things beforehand. When it came down to lighting these scenes, we didn't have any control over any of the lights during the day because we were shooting it pretty much outside broad daylight, not in a warehouse somewhere. The only time we had control over the lighting was of course at nighttime, so I couldn't really do anything about the lighting in the daytime shots. Once the nighttime fell, I was able to get really creative with the lighting, and I used Titan Asteras and I put them in an almost semicircle around this particular spot where we were filming, and I also wanted to match the color of the Titan Asteras with the color of the clothes, which was blue, purple and white. So I was able to change the color of the lights to match the clothes, and we also had this amazing city skyline background which gave us some really nice backlighting in some of the shots. When it came down to executing a lot of these shots, I would say about 80% of the time I was shooting handheld. I did have a gimbal with me, but I didn't really use it that much. Because I was shooting free runners, I really wanted to give off that movement in the camera, which is why I decided to shoot a lot of this commercial handheld, because they were jumping around and doing flips, and I really wanted to sort of bring the viewer into the shots and have that camera following the motion of the free runners.
How many can you do? Can you do them all?
Yeah, they're quite small.
Oh, quite small. Okay, I can do one of these, by the way.
What? Give it a go.
No. I like my neck. So I think we'll get a wide, one wide, one punched in, and then one me following you because you've got low. And then you put the back of that t-shirt.
Don't think so.
Right, okay, so I'll get a few punched in from the front, then stuff for the trousers again. Pretty simple. So like 3 shots in total.
If you're not really familiar with the action you're trying to capture, just ask the talent to show you some examples, watch and study what they do so that you can be in complete flow with their movement. By understanding the action that's happening in front of you may give you some more ideas which you can then execute during the shoot. Bearing in mind, this is a clothing commercial, so I need to sort of isolate on certain areas of the free runners. Obviously, they're going to be wearing the clothes, so maybe I get a few close-ups of the trousers when they're doing a flip, or I get a close-up of the t-shirt as they're climbing up a wall, or anything like that. These are all little ideas that I was able to get because I asked them, you know, what movements are you going to do? And then I can sort of figure out, okay, I'm going to shoot this shot from behind so I can get a nice shot of the back of the t-shirt, and then this shot I'm going to film it a little bit lower down so I can get a nice shot of the pants. Literally everything like that all came into place because I asked them, you know, what are you going to do? What movements are you going to do? So that I can assess and study how I'm going to get all of these shots. By knowing where the logos and details are on the pieces of clothing, I then was able to combine a load of close-ups, whether that be a logo on the front or the side of the pants or front of a t-shirt, back of the t-shirt, side of the hoodie, anything like that, any little details. By combining those close-up shots of those details with the free running and the movements really helped bring this entire commercial to life, because I was able to cut in between shots and I was able to literally get so much variety of different movements, and I combined that with the close-ups of the clothing. I feel like worked really, really well. And that again is by just planning and looking at the clothing and saying, right, this has a logo on the front of it, maybe I'll get a shot like that and I'll pan around. Whenever I shoot anything to do with fast movement or sport and I want to get those really dramatic vibes, I tend to shoot everything in 4K, 24 frames per second in handheld. It might take a minute to get the focus just right with some of these fast moving shots, but in the end you want to be patient and make sure that you cover absolutely everything. You will notice with a lot of these handheld shots, obviously because I was using a small rig with a handle, a lot of them I like to whip pan in and out of the shot. So for example, if he's doing a flip, I'll pan in from the right and then out from the left, and then maybe during the next shot I'll pan in from the left and then out to the right, so that the whole thing when it comes to the editing process will look completely seamless once I piece it all together. If you guys want me to do more video breakdowns and behind the scenes on how I shoot commercials and video productions, let me know down in the description below, because I love making these types of videos and I also do it as my full-time job, so it's good to bring you guys along with me and just see how I work in a more professional environment with a client. So that is that. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did like this video, don't forget to leave a like rating, subscribe if you are new, and I will see you all very soon in the next one. Competition winner is going to be announced. Stay tuned. I'll see you very soon. Peace. I've been working on building another recording space like this with a different backdrop and a different environment to film videos in. I will show you guys that a little bit later down the line, because right now it's looking like an absolute shithole. You don't want to see it.